Hello, ladies. This is Tana with My Red Hen, and I have another Make and Take Monday. And I thought that I would show you, remind you that what we did, what I showed you on Make and Take Monday was how to make one of these cool little sleeves out of a toilet paper roll. And I said I did some for 4th of July, and I found them. So I just thought I'd show you. When I used to do hen party, they made, I think they made this, or I might have given them a choice. I don't know. But these are the ones that I made for 4th of July. So this is the toilet paper holder. So easy, just a flat toilet paper holder, a bit of ribbon, and a bit of decoration, and you have such a great great little gift. Like something like this would be so cute if you're going someplace for 4th of July to bring as a little thank you card, or send a little thank you card afterward. Anyway, these are really fun to make, and you can make them just for any occasion. And so like this one I did for Father's Day, and then I had these for 4th of July. So I wanted to show you that so that you'd see how the 4th of July ones came out. And obviously I have a few, so if anybody needs a special little thing for the 4th of July, you can have one of my pre-made ones for $3.50. So, but we are going on to a new project for you guys today, a little more involved, and it is about iris folding. I came into possession of this kit, and some of them were already finished, but there was all kinds of stuff to make more, and they look super complicated. Here's the flower. Here's the heart. I have 2 hearts finished. I have 3 hearts finished. So it looks so pretty, and it looks like it's difficult to do, and it's not. There's a circle. And the one I'm going to demonstrate for you today is the square. So let's put these finished ones over here so they're handy if I need to go back with them. And so this came as a kit with all this stuff, and some of them were already made, and I already made one for practice purposes, and then I have this one out so I can make it and show you guys how it's done. Let's get these out of the way. The kit came with an instruction sheet right here, and it came with all these. The instruction sheet, once I tell you what to do, is really not, you don't actually need it, but it came also with all these patterns, and to do the different shapes. This is for the square, the flower, the heart, and a circle. And then this was one way, and each of these show another way to do the same shape in a different configuration. So I'm going to use the square. That's what I'm doing today, and just so it'll be faster. This is the more involved one, and I'm going to do this one. So the first thing you have to do, let me make sure I have 4 colors though. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I do. So you have to decide. Some of them say 3 colors, and some of them say 4. This is a 4-color one, so you would need to pick out the 4 colors that you're going to use. And so let me get these colors out here. And you cut these strips, and they came pre-cut in the kit, but you can easily cut your own if you want to do this. And so there's my 4 colors. And then you decide, see, this is numbered. So from this, I would decide where I want the lightest one to be. So I would put that here, but you can really do it anywhere. And so for my cases, I'm going to make, what do I want to do? What do I want to make number 1? Let's make this number 1. And what's number 2? Where's number 2? Here it is. And so this is going to be number 1. I'll do this as number 2. And then number 3, I think they did. And then number 4, I find this is the lightest. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so these are my 4 colors that I'm going to use. And then they tell you to score down the middle of each of these, and you can. It will make it will make it nicer, but I got impatient with it. This is what you're supposed to do. Each of these strips is 1 inch wide. So you're supposed to this is light paper, so you have to be careful. You're supposed to score down the middle, so then you can fold it perfectly in half. But if it's not perfectly in half, it doesn't make anything wrong. So then you take this and you lay your card over your pattern and you tape it on there so it won't wiggle around. I'm going to use, it would be best to use, this is surgical tape, or I just happen to have a bunch of this left, and or purple tape, or, you know. All right, so now you have this pattern in front of you in here, and there are numbers on the pattern. Oops, I'm a Dumbo. You don't put it on like this. You put it on like this on your pattern. All right. Now you can see that there are numbers on here, and you just follow those numbers and do exactly what it says. So I'm going to turn this around so I can see my colors there. So I did this number. I'm just a mess. You need to have this right on where it's going to go. All right. So the number 1 that's on my pattern is my first color. So I'm going to take my first color and pretend that I scored it, and I'm going to fold it in half. You can see it's not perfect. Doesn't matter at all. So you're going to fold it in half. You need to make a nice crisp fold, and then you're going to lay this across where it says number 1. So right across there. And then you're going to just use plain old Scotch tape, and you're going to tape it to your card. Now I've got my surgical tape in the way. Let's put it back here. Okay, so now that's taped in place, and you want to cut it off, but you want to make sure there's overhang that goes over the edges of your frame. So I'm going to cut this off, and this piece can be used someplace else. Now here it says number 2, and so I chose this as my number 2. So I'm going to fold that one in half. And do the same thing. Get my tape ready. And this is going to cross over and lay right down where it says number 2. And then I will cut this off. Number 3 is my next color. I must have only laid one of these out here, which I chose. This is the one I scored. So I'm going to take it over here where it says number 3, and I'm going to tape it down, making sure that it goes into the frame. And I'll cut the rest off. And then finally, this is my 4th color. And it is going to go. Oh, and I didn't say that, but the folded portion is what always goes. This is outside the frame. Like, look at the back of these. It's a mess in back, but that's what you do to get the pretty in front. So here's number 4 with the folded side in, following exactly where it is, and I tape it down. Okay, I'm going to do another round right now before I tell you something else so that you can see how it's beginning. So now that was 4, so this is 5. And 5 is my 2nd color, which means it's this. And the piece, is that right? Oh, this is 2nd color. This is 2nd color. What have I done already? That's 3rd color. Sorry, ladies. I may have done it incorrectly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this was number 1. This was number 3. So this is where I went wrong. I looked at the number on the as when you're picking your color, you're not going by the number here, you're going by over here. So that was supposed to be number 3, which would have been this one. It really is very easy, you guys, and has lovely results. So there, that's number 3. And then this is number 1. Yes. So this is color number 1. You know, and it really doesn't take any time at all to do it. It's so easy. And then this is supposed to be number, number 3. Yes. So don't look at the numbers on here when you're picking your color. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so these two are the same, yes. And they should lay over each other in the, if they're laying over each other in the number it goes. So now this is number 5, but it's color number 2. And so this piece will fit. So we're going to take this piece and cover number 5. And in so doing, we'll start to cover up the base one. Go to the dollar store and get yourself a roll of cheap tape because you use a lot. Okay, so then I go to number 6, which is color number 4. Is this big enough? Well, I'm going to do a little longer one. Want to make sure. Oh, look, I have a piece over here already folded. So this is number 6. Number 7 is color number 2. Just this one. It's going to go right here. Oop. And that was number 7. So here's number 8, which is piece number 4. Which is this piece, if it's long enough. Nope, I don't want to use that. So we're going to bend a piece of, so you can see your fearless leader here is not scoring anything. What you do want to make sure of is, see, because I didn't score this and I folded it crooked, this part shows. So that part isn't the one you want to put down because it might end up showing on your card. You just want to make it this way. Whichever side you put down, you want it to be all color. Or you can pre-score them like a professional would do. Okay, I'm going to do one more. I don't like where this piece got laid. Come on, let me move you just a little right there. All right, so let's cut this off. That was number 8, so we're looking for number 9, which is right here, and it is color number 1. You know, I've done one also where I made a mistake on the color I put down, and it didn't matter at all. Not to me, anyway. And now we're on to number 10, which is color number 3, which is this one. Let's see if it wants to work. Perfect. $11 is number 1. Right here, cover up the 11. Get the tape into the design. Keep it away from the edges. All right, now, not going to make you guys sit here and watch me go on and on and on, but you get the idea of what you're doing. So I want to stop for a moment and tell you that there were things left in the kit, and so I divided it all up, and you guys can easily make this on your own. I went online, and there are literally hundreds of patterns. I know the star that I saw is exactly like the star. I mean the heart. The heart that I saw was done exactly like this one of these anyway. And so the kit came with all these card bases, and then you turn it over and do it like that. I myself, this would make, I believe it's a 5x7. Yeah, this would make a 5x7 card. And if you want to send it that way, you can. But their outsides make it feel to me like a kit and not something you made yourself. And so I'm going to cut mine down to an A2 size, which would be 4.5 by 5.25, and then that would be the whole front. But I probably will end up going down to 4 by 5.25, so that I can put this on a card front and have a little border showing around like this. Plus it will draw it in, and there won't be quite so much blank space around. So I have a bunch of leftover things, so I'm going to offer them to you guys. Like I say, you can totally do this on your own. You're going to pick out either 3 or 4 colors that go together. You can go online and pull out a pattern, and the easiest thing to do would be if you have a die or something. But the patterns are online, so you can go online and find your pattern, and then you can sit and play with this. If you're doing it on your own, I might let you know that flimsier paper, I usually hate flimsier paper, but flimsier paper works better for this particular technique. And you would cut it into 1-inch strips. See how long the kit had 6-inch pieces. So if you have a 12 by 12, you would cut that in half and then cut 1 inch across, so you have all of these 1 by 6 pieces. And then you go online to find a pattern and you try it. However, I have a bunch of them that I've divided up all the stuff that was left, and I'm going to offer them to you guys if you want to try it with these. It would be $5, and you will get a card base in one of the shapes. This one happens to be a flower, and this is just in there in case extra paper was needed, and you'll get all these strips already pre-cut to do your pattern with on this card base. And then you all have an envelope to, if you want to leave the card the size it is, you have this is one envelope, but you also have another clean envelope to be able to put your card in once it's finished. And so you would get all that, plus you would get copies of the patterns. They'd have to be black and white patterns, but they'll show up differently, so you should be able to do that. And so there are 4 different cards here, that the circle, the heart, the flower, and the square. And I would give you copies of each one of these like this, so that you could you'll have it to do on other shapes at other times, but it will have, like this one that I just showed you, you would use the flower because you've got a base card with a flower cut out. And so you would use the flower, and you could choose this one, or you could choose this one. So that's what you would get. So you would get all these supplies that would make at least one. The amount of papers that I put in here, you might even be able to get extra. And then you would get copies of these patterns. There would be 8 copies, eight patterns. I mean, you get 8 patterns, and I have a few different colors. So for $5, you would get this all ready to go and the 8 patterns. And I just lost my train of thought. Oh, and I have different colors. So the lavender, which is this one, I have 1. The pink, this is one of the pinks. It's a flower. And I have 2 pinks. Here's the other pink. So it's got a pink on the card base, and then there are pink colors to use to go in it. I didn't show you the colors of the other one. This one is a mixture of, I've matched this up. It will actually match better if you what I'm doing. So these are all colors that match, and it's got a card base. But if you don't like what's here, just turn it over and do it this way, and it's going to become your own. So those are the strips that are inside those. These are the ones from the lavender one. You can see a couple 3 of them there. And so there's the 2 pinks, and I have a yellow and orange one. One thing that did happen is they didn't have enough of the papers left to do the actual colors that are on the front. So this is yellow and orange, and this is the card base that's inside of it. But you would just turn it over and put it on the heart shape, and you would do a yellow and orange heart. Like I say, I think all of these will be better cut down to A2 size, but you will have an envelope to send it the way it is if you want to. And then I have 1 yellow that is a flower shape. Again, this is turned over. It's got wood on the back. This still might look good with the wood. So there's the colors in the yellow one. I've got a green one. I love this. Isn't it pretty? The green one is in a square. And I've got a green and blue one. So here's a mostly blue, but it's got some green in it as well. And there's a piece in here in case you run out of one of those colors. And it is a heart. This one's a heart, the green and blue. And then I have, oh, this is another pink. I must have 3 pinks. I can't count. There's a pink. Maybe I said I have 2 pinks and then only showed you 1. Looks like that's what I did. So this is the second pink. It's got these really cute patterns in it, and it is on a heart. And then I have a multicolor one that had all these colors left, and I put them together for a multicolored one, and that can be really fun. So, and that one is a square. So I'm going to go through that once again in case you guys want any of these. You would get this, and you would get all these patterns. And so I have